making great progress on minimal workouts. Um, yes, you can make great progress on minimal workouts. I'm not going to say that you can't. But it all depends on what your definition of minimal is. So let's talk about something very simple like Brooks Kubik. He has a lot of stuff on minimal workouts, right? You're going to train less. But you'll notice that it's very heavy, which is why it's minimal time investment. I want something to be very clear here, and I'm going to use running as an analogy because it's the easiest thing to explain. If I run as hard as I possibly can, I can probably only sustain that for 20 seconds max. And I know that because I ran the 200 meters. That's about how far I can go before my speed drops off dramatically. Okay, my 200 meter time is at a very good pace compared to my 400 meter time. I don't run the 400 meters very well because I run and then somewhere around the 300 meter mark, my body bursts into flames and I die. So, the point of this is that if you go as hard as you possibly can, you can't sustain this for a long period of time. But you know, if I'm just running a 6-minute mile pace, come on, I used to hold that for an hour straight. That's not the same. The faster and more intense you are training, the less time you can sustain it for. Make it super simple for you in a different way. If I squat 100% of my 1 rep max, I do 1 rep. If I squat 50% of my 1 rep max, I don't know, maybe I can do 20 reps, okay? The lower the intensity, the longer you can sustain this for. So when it comes to people making progress on minimal workouts, okay, it's because of the fact that the intensity of the workout is so high. It's not because they're doing 5 sets of 5 with, 60% and, somehow, I can bang that out in 10 minutes, therefore it's effective. No. What's really happening is that in 10 minutes you did something extremely intense that you could not possibly sustain for 15 minutes. Look at CrossFit. And that's why you can make progress on a minimal workout. So when the intensity goes way up, the amount of time and volume go down. So if I head downstairs and I go to my basement and I say, I'm just going to squat 135 today, but I'm going to squat 135 until I'm tired. I have no idea how long that would even take. I've never done such a stupid workout, but I bet I could keep at it for probably 2 hours straight easily. I could just be like, I'm going to do sets of 10 with 135, and I'm just going to do a set every 2 minutes, and probably could sustain that for 2 hours straight. If I go downstairs and I say, I'm going to work up to a 1 rep max, that's less than 30 minutes. In fact, I'll probably be around 90% in 10, 12 minutes. So I probably can work up to a 1 rep max, to a failed rep even, in under 20 minutes. But what do you do after that? I squatted 345 and I put 355 on the bar and, got pinned. Okay? Front squats, because front squats are for men. The point being, what do you do after that? You've maxed out. I drop set. I go to 80% and do 3 sets of 3. Okay, even still, you're looking at 30 to 40 minutes of time invested, right? This isn't going to be a marathon workout. Flip side to this, if you said, I'm going to take 75%, I'm going to do sets of 5 to 8, how many sets are you going to do? 10? You could keep that going for a very long time. And so my point being about the minimal training, if you're going to train minimally and you want to make progress, you need to make sure that the intensity is high so that the stimulus is still significant. If I say I'm going to work up to 80% for a single, great, you can do that in 10 minutes. But you're not going to make progress off of it. And that's what I want people to understand about this whole concept. And there's all these guys marketing this stuff I make great results on just 2 20-minute workouts a week. Do you? Do you? Because for those guys, they spent 10 years building their physique, and now they just maintain it. They're not building at this point. And I don't mean this to attack anyone, so I'm not going to drop names as much as I really want to. But there are some individuals out there who pitch their programs. Oh, my program is, whatever. It's some break off of CrossFit or something. It's got some circuit training type stuff in it. And they talk about how, I only train 20 to 30 minutes twice a week or 3 times a week, right? 30 minutes 3 times a week. And it's like, but you're not getting any bigger and you're not getting any stronger. You built this over the course of 10 years. You have a very good physique as far as your muscular development. You have a very adequate level of strength. So for you to maintain it doesn't really take much. But you're not making progress. For the guy who needs to make progress, he's going to do more than that, 3 20-minute workout circuit training bullshit. My front squat, I could probably maintain it just doing 1 heavy front squat session a week. If I just did front squat once a week and I worked up to something heavy, okay, that would probably be more than adequate for me to maintain my squat. Do you have any idea how hard it was to go from 315 to 325, to go from 325 to 335, to go from 335 to 345? I was doing front squat and back squat, so 2 squat sessions per week. I made ample progress for a very long time, and then I got stuck at a 315 front squat. And I was stuck at a 315 front squat for probably 6 months straight. Most of you would quit. A lot of people are like, oh, this isn't working, but I stuck to that program because I just believed that I would break through the plateau eventually. And finally I said, okay, I guess I'm going to front squat twice a week and back squat once a week. So I went to 3 times a week, and I put maybe 5 pounds on. I spent like 3 months stuck there again. So I went to 4 times a week. So now I'm squatting front squat twice, back squat twice. And I made it to 325. Damn. What do I do now? Oh, I go to 5 times a week. So now I'm front squatting 3 times and back squatting twice, right? And I made another 10-pound jump. Where do you go from there? 6 times a week? Unfortunately, yes. And that's how I arrived at squatting 7 days a week. It's because I couldn't make any more progress doing 2 times a week. I couldn't make any more progress doing 3 times a week. I had to keep increasing it. But the funny thing is that, okay, now you've done this 7 times a week squatting thing. You're there. You can probably maintain that with 1 session a week. There's these training residuals, Issurin. You guys can look it up, Vladimir Issurin. These training residuals, you could easily maintain your strength training once a week. Building strength is a different battle, right? You have huge legs. You could probably maintain your legs training once a week, but you're not going to make them grow any further unless you add something to it, whether it's intensity or volume, okay? And so if you want to do minimal training, I'm not opposed to it. I'm a fan. I like this stuff. Bill Hinburn. If you want to do minimal training, you have to make sure that the stimulus is very significant. You have to have high intensity. For those of you who have done things like CrossFit, go do Fran in under 3 minutes and let me know how it feels. Okay? Go do Grace in under 3 minutes. Let me know how that feels. Right? We've all done that. I had a 2-minute Diane. It was like 2:25 or 2:28 or whatever the hell it was. You finish that and you are on the ground with like acid running through your lungs, like it hurts to breathe. That's intensity. You could not sustain that for 20 minutes. That's why you got it done in 2 minutes and some odd seconds, and you're completely just flattened by this. The same thing goes for Grace or Isabel. If you do a 3-minute Isabel, that's 30 snatches with 135 pounds, okay? If you do that in 3 minutes, you are fried. You are not going to sustain that pace for 20 minutes. You're not going to sustain that pace for an hour, okay? 42 rounds of Cindy. That's 20 minutes. That's a long one. And even still, you aren't going to sustain that pace for a full hour, okay? Can you make progress off of minimal time? Yes. And I'm not recommending you do those. I'm assuming your goal, if you follow me, is strength. In which case, I'm going to tell you what you want to do is pick one lift. Whatever lift it is that you want to do. You want to do bench press, go with bench press. You want to do back squat, do back squat. Whatever it is, pick a lift. You're going to work up till you hit something really heavy and you think to yourself, if I put another 10 pounds on this bar, I'm not sure I'm going to make that one. Okay, that's your top single for the day. And then you're going to go to either like 80 or 85%, somewhere in that range, and you're going to do 3 sets of 3, and you're done. That's it. That's your whole workout. Why? Because we went heavy, and you have this element of auto-regulation. You went as heavy as you can today, okay? And then 3 sets of 3 at 80 to 85% to get some volume in. And that's all the more you need to do. Like after you do that, you don't need to go do leg extensions and hamstring curls and Bulgarian split squats, and you don't need to do tricep extensions after you bench and I need to make sure I do my push down thing or whatever. No, you just did the work. That's your minimal workout. And the reason why that works for you is because the intensity was high. You went as heavy as you could today, and then you took 3 sets of 3, okay, at 80 to 85% of that. That's enough for you to get a stimulus. That is a minimal workout. Do you need to do a dozen accessory movements? No, you don't. Okay? And this is what I'm trying to hammer home to people is that, can you train minimally? Yes, you can. But it has to be high in the intensity. It has to be high in the stress load. And I feel like there's a lot of people out there marketing shit that are promising you, you can do easy workouts for just 20 minutes 3 times a week. And it's like, no, it can't be easy. It has to be hard. It has to be so hard that you're exhausted at the end of it. You can exhaust yourself in 20 minutes. If you do that, yes, you can make progress doing minimal workouts.